Holding Siman Shin Tes, Seif Dalet. This Seif is going to go through the halachas of bosses. Bosses we already mentioned many times before. Within bosses is when there's a davar heter, something that's mutter to move it, but it's holding up a davar iser. It's holding up something that's mukta. So there it becomes a bosses, a davar aser, and the thing that's holding it up also becomes mukta to move, even though the thing itself is not mukta. But since it's supporting and it's holding up something that is mukta, it's called a bosses, a davar aser, and now that I move it. Now in the dini bosses, most of the poskim hold that it has to be, the only way it becomes a bosses is if the thing that's holding it up is meant to hold up the davar mukta. If it's not meant to hold up the davar mukta, then it doesn't become a bosses. And that's the way we paskin. That it has to be that it's there and it's meant to hold it up. But if something happens to be under davar mukta and it's not there to serve the davar mukta, it just happens to be under the davar mukta, then it doesn't become a bosses or davar aser, and you're allowed to move the bottom thing. That's a cloud we have to know in Hilchos Bosses. It comes up a lot, and we'll see as we go through the Seif. So the interesting part is that this case over here, Seif Dalet, is when someone put a stone on top of a chavius. So the Achrein are trying to figure out where is the chavius, the barrel, serving the rock. You put a rock on top of a chavius. The barrel is not meant there to hold up the rock. You happen to put it down there.
Maybe the rock is there to cover the...
So it's meant for a cover. That's something else. But
what if the rock is there to keep that lid from flying off or something?
So that is the opposite.
Yeah.
The rock is being mishamish the chavius, not the chavius being mishamish the rock.
And that changes the halacha?
Yeah, that should become a bosses. A bosses is only when the thing is meant to hold up the davar aser on top of it. But if you put a rock on top of a chavius for a cover or to hold down the lid of the chavius,
it's the chavius.
The rock is being mishamish the chavius, not the chavius the rock.
Yeah.
So the Achronim try to figure out exactly what the case is over here. I'm not going to go into all the details, but the Achronim answer why it's considered that the chavius is being mishamish the rock. It's a case where you don't need it for a cover, and you have to put the rock down somewhere, and you put it down over here. Let's assume that the case of this Seif is that the chavius is being mishamish, it's coming here to hold up the rock.
The bosses always has to be a davar heter, right?
The boss davar heter, yeah. The boss is a davar heter.
Always has to be.
Always. Otherwise it has on muktzah.
So even if, right. So
but Python speaking about the opposite. If you have a clear, it's muktzah machmas gufay, then you can't move it at all, and it's on top of a kli shemlacht al isin. You're allowed to move the tzarech gufay mekayman. So it's a muktzah on top of muktzah. So now there's a kli shemlacht al isin get a din of tzarech gufay. Then you can't move it at all. The person speaking about it.
Also, why is the chavis not the bosses to davar iser the heter?
Why? Because of the wine inside.
Yeah.
Okay, good question. We'll get to that.
Okay.
We'll get to that. They speak about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. Shokach even api chavius. Someone forgot a stone on top of a chavius. It's very important, the word shokach. So here, it does not become a bosses. The cloud in Hilchos bosses is, which we'll go through a lot today, is that if someone forgot something someplace, he didn't put it there, then also it doesn't become a bosses. Because of the cloud we just said. A bosses is only when it's being mishamish the davar aser. If you by mistake put something somewhere, or you forgot it there, you didn't want to leave it there, so we don't say the davar heter is being mishamish the davar aser.
Even if it is.
Even if it is, because you don't need it there. It happens to be you put it there, but you don't need it there. If you don't need it there, you don't want to keep it there. So we don't say the davar heter is being mishamish the davar aser.
So if you forget matchbox on a plate on the Shulchan Shabbos,
if you forget it there,
forget it.
Then it's not called bosses.
Okay.
It's not a bosses. If you have wine, take it up before Shabbos and leave it there. It's not called bosses. That's called shokach. The match is a muktzah. Well, see, they have to shake it off, maybe.
To take it,
To shake it off, tiltum and atzad. But the bosses, the thing that it's on, doesn't become a bosses. And the reason is because the bosses is only when you want it to be there. Therefore, now the bottom thing is being mishamish the davar hamuktzah. So shokach even apichavis, you forgot a stone on top of the chavis, or mois, you forgot money on a car on a pillow. So mata chavis al tzida, you're allowed to tip the chavis on its side. And the stone moves. So the heter over here is that the chavis is not a bosses. So therefore you're allowed to do something to get minatzah to knock the rock off of the chavis. Because the chavis is not a davar muktzah, it's not a bosses. This is a shokach. It's a shokach. It's the beginning of the Seif. You forgot it there. So since you forgot it there, the main key over here is the chavis itself is not muktzah. It's not a bosses. Therefore, we're giving ideas and hechatimtzes of how to get it off. So you're allowed to tilt it on its side. Wherever nefeles umenar akar, you're allowed to shake the pillow. V'amoyis neiflim, the money falls off. But if you have the barrel between other barrels, you can't turn it on its side. Why? Because the rock is going to fall off and bang into the barrel next to it and crack the barrel next to it. So you're allowed to pick up the barrel with the stone. With the stone, the mokam acher or la toisa sham, you're allowed to bring it to a different place and then shake it off over there that should fall off, and then bring the barrel back to its original place. So here, this halacha, the first halacha is that you put it there, it was shokach, you didn't put it there, you forgot it there. So the barrel does not become a bosses. So if you have muktzah on something that's heter, and it's not a bosses, you're allowed to be able to taltum al atzad and knock it off. That's the halacha. Now, there's a Rabbi Kiva Ega over here, very important Rabbi Kiva Ega. If you look in the Gos of Kiva Ega, on Shulchan Aruch, it says, the B'maschol, Yochel Lagbia, K'moishehu. See it?
Yeah.
Yochel Lagbia, K'moishehu, the second piece. The second piece.
Yeah.
So Kiva Ega says, Loshen Rashi, Lagbia, Lechavias, Kula, Umosalkem ben achavias v'sham tita al tzida ad cham l'shaynim. Mashma says of Kivega. Miyad achash asilkem ben achavias. The second you took it away from between the chavias, aser l'taltal achavias and even. You can't be metaltal anymore. Once you got it away from the place where you don't want the rock to fall down, you can't just bring the chavias wherever you want. You have to right away take the rock off. Kivin the efshir the na'er sham, since you could take it off there. So Kivin is medayik from Rashi. You pick up the chavias, then you're now allowed to go ahead and carry it wherever you want. You have to go ahead and shake it off the first possible moment where you could.
Yeah.
V'kosher says Rabbi Kivin. V'kosher li hakivin amuktzah b'yadoi yachal l'talta l'mokarim sheyirtzer Kedol El Reish Samach Vav Sifrit Beis. V'hachanami the Shokach Kisui the Shabbos the Af the Even Oiz Sham Shari. So he says, the Kiva says, a cloud with muktzah is that if you have muktzah in your hand, beheter. Famous case is a mila knife, an Ismail, which is muktzah, but you're allowed to use it on Shabbos. The second you finish, what do you have to drop it, or you're allowed to carry it and put it down in a safe place. So Rabbi Kiva says you're allowed to carry the muktzah. Once it comes to your hand, beheter, you're allowed to carry it wherever you want. So here, the Even came into your hand, beheter. You picked up the chavis with the Even on top of it, with the stone on top of it. You had a right to do it. You were allowed to pick it up. So now that I'm allowed to pick it up, I could carry it wherever I want. Rabbi Kiva goes back to Masha that you cannot. Life Sarachir doesn't change the psak.
So
he says Sarachir, he doesn't say that Allah is not that way. So it's Masha from Rabbi Kiva, you should be machmer. If you have something that's a boss, that's not a boss, it's a davar also, but you want to carry it and put it away someplace, so you can't just carry it wherever you want.
But once he's dropped the stone, you can take the barrel wherever he wants anyway.
The barrel, but the question is, we have to drop the stone the first possible moment,
yes.
Or I could drop the stone, I want the stone further away. I want the stone outside in the backyard. And I carry it wherever you want or not. So in Kibbein the Rashi you can't. Of course, the chavius, once the stone is off the chavius is not muktzah. It's mutter, it's heter. But the question is, do I have to shake it off the first possible moment? So a perfect example would be, someone takes the mattress out of Shabbos and puts it down on a plate, let's say, and had a morning to take it away before Shabbos. So it's not a bus, it's a davar also, the plate. So you're allowed to move the plate with the mattress on it. So where do I have to shake it off? I'm allowed to carry it wherever I want? Or no, the first possible place where you can shake it off, you have to shake it off.
Yeah, but the difference is with the milah knife, you're actually using it, whereas the Evan you have no use for the Evan in this case, or it's like it's something which is just on there and you haven't isn't
yeah,
like
but you're allowed to move it. But you're allowed to move it. Now, when you pick it up,
which is why I'm saying if there's no use, maybe this is the svara. When you have no use for the development which is on there, roll it off. Don't move around. But whereas with a knife, with a kid of the milah, that's something
but
else.
now you have no use for
You're
it.
using it.
No, now you finish using it.
Doesn't make a difference. Kind of muktzah it is. This is the
Machmas gufay. Okay, Klisham Lachal Issa, the place speaking about if something becomes a bosses to it, Bechlal. I think there's a Prima Godim that says, interesting question, we're talking about a stone that's muktzah machmas gufay, right? It's a full muktzah. How about if it's not muktzah machmas gufay?
How?
It's a Klisham Lachal Issa. A hammer at the top of my plate. Now, it's mutter to move the hammer, the tzarech gufay, the tzarech mekayma.
Right.
So now the hammer is lying on a plate. Does that plate become a bosses to the hammer? So you put it in bedafka, not shachach. You put it in bedafka, you want it to stay there. Does the plate become a bosses of davar or aser? Then now you can only move the tzarech gufay mekayma, the plate.
You can move the hammer itself.
The hammer you can move the tzarech gufay mekayma. So let's say the plate, it's outside. I put the hammer down on a davar heter on a pillow outside in the backyard. It's going to start raining soon. So the pillow is going to get ruined. I want to take it in. The hammer is lying on top of it. The hammer you're not allowed to take in because the hammer is a klisham lachal iser, and you're not allowed to move it mechamal etzel. So you're not allowed to bring in the hammer. Could I shake the hammer off the pillow and take the pillow in? Or is the pillow a bosses, a davar aser, and you're not allowed to move it? You put the hammer there after you wanted it to stay there, let's say. You had a mind to keep it at all Shabbos. And then Shabbos afternoon it's about to rain, you want to take in the pillow. Or a chair, whatever it is, outside. So is the chair or the pillow a bosses, a davar, or aser? Meaning it becomes like a klisham lachtal issa. I think the Prima Godim comes out that by klisham lachtal issa we don't say bosses. It has to say muktzah machmas gufay. Muktzah machmas gufay, it's a full muktzah, you can't move it at all. So then then you can become a bosses to it. But something you have a right to move.
But isn't that the difference in this whole case? So that you're moving the barrel to get the stone, which you don't have a right to move anyway.
Right, but because it's not a bosses here. Here it's shachach.
Yes.
Here it's only shachach. So therefore the barrel never became a bosses. So it's tiltam and outside. So you had to tiltam and outside.
But only as far as you can go.
So that's a kivega. That's a kivega. So diagram Rashi, you can only take it as far as you can go, because then you have to shake it off, because you're still moving muktzah.
The first possible.
But the first possible place. But anything like klisham lachto iser, it may never become a bosses. The Prima Godim thing comes out that it doesn't become a bosses. But big enough if you have a hammer on something, is the thing that it's on become a bosses? Now you only allowed to move it. So move it.
When do we say that you can take it anywhere you want? Only if it's beheter or if it's b'shoigin, right?
No, b'shoigin could be not. It's the beheter. B'shoigin you have to drop it. You have no right to move it.
I thought
the moment you realize,
once you pick up something that once already.
No, if b'shoigin not. B'shoigin you can't. Because b'shoigin you have no right to pick it up. You made a mistake. It's not you didn't pick it up beheter. The Kivega's case is when you picked it up a heter. Here, I'm picking it up a heter.
No, I'm trying to make a shustel. In other words, what would be a reason why you would have to drop it right away?
But here it's not b'shagi. Here it's beheter. Here's beheter. You're allowed to pick it up. But Kivega's why you have to shake it off in the first possible place.
Holy amazing. If you have a shayga, let's say you actually did pick up something by accident, you have to
drop
it right away.
Yeah. Pick up something shayga, you have to drop it right away. Now take it wherever you want. You have to drop it right away.
So you find the money in your pocket.
Yeah, you're not going to continue carrying wherever you want. Drop it wherever you want.
It's fine.
It's the same thing like
Unless
a
it's
ball,
called
you
tiltum and
shake.
outside.
It's like a ball, you shake.
But it's called tiltum and outside. I don't know if that's called. It's called the head to go wherever you want.
So there's no union of hefsed like.
But I'm not the hefsed by muktzah.
I mean, like money is one thing, but even like a knife, Mila knife is.
Yeah. So that's it.
so-
But they picked it up head.
Right.
So you're allowed to
He
do
was
it.
saying. He was saying.
So, no, you see with the he's talking about the Mila knife. You're allowed to put it down in a safe place. So he's a kasha. Why over here can't you? This is kasha. It's a thing. Why here is different than the case of the Mila knife.
Meal knife again, you might be able to use in a permitted way on that Shabbos.
What?
Meal knife you might be able to use again in a permitted way on that Shabbos.
Yeah, but that's not the heter there. The heter there is because it came to your hands heter. Then you can put it down wherever you want. That's the heter. Not because it's not muktzah because you may still use it on Shabbos.
I know, but so when would the Evan come to you with your hand beheter?
Here,
How's it? It's not.
No.
It's
yeah, but you're allowed because you're allowed to pick up the chavias. You're allowed to pick up the barrel and move it to the side.
But that's the chavis, isn't the Evan? When does the Evan itself? Here you actually.
No,
pick
you're
up
allowed to
the
be
knife.
metaltal and outside. You're allowed to be metaltal and outside. There's a heter to be metaltal and
The
outside.
Evan you cannot pick it up by itself.
Right.
You have to pick it up with the.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. The Evan itself, he actually can never pick up.
You cannot. Can never pick
The
it up.
Evan itself, the knife you can, but the Evan itself you
You
can't
could,
pick up.
but outside you're allowed to pick it up. The way you're doing it now, you're allowed to do it.
I know, but I'm saying itself. I mean, you do tilt to the
Okay, but still, but tiltum outside is mutter.
I know, but
So if it's the heter, maybe that's the difference. Okay.
The knife comes into
Maybe.
the Mila knife comes into his hand because of heter.
Yeah.
With the Mila.
I know,
Now
but
he
I'm saying-
just has his hand, so he has
I
to
agree,
move.
but I'm saying the svara is exactly the rope will never become in his hands. You can do tiltul mina outside, as Rav says, but you never the rock itself is never the heter, whereas the mila knife is.
Yeah.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
if you look at the Magen Avram in Shin Ches Zion,
She's in her Zion, yeah. Yeah, that's what he speaks about, yeah.
I think we spoke this out. We said "Afilu shachav v'nachal b'yoder asher l'talta yoser." In the case of shoygig,
Yeah, but the argument there. There's the Mishnah over there, no?
Yeah, the Mishnah says.
Yeah, they argue about it. The Gra argues on it over there.
and I thought that's how we spoke out. It's only the meza that you're not allowed to.
Now look at the Goin. I think there's a Gra right there. The Mishnah Berurah speaks about it, and it says V'shoyig not.
Yeah.
Look over there in the Mishnah Berurah.
In the Kavona says, I'll be a chovius. I have to go from Muktzah. Mishnah Berurah.
Yeah. Look at Mishnah Berurah, there's Seif Khan Yud Gimel.
Shochach Evan.
But we go to El Reish Lamed Vav, Seif Yud Beis, Chelek Al Magen Avram. The Sir Tiru Elek Shehitzkel L'Taltal B'Shus. Seif Khan Yud Gimel. It's like halfway through. See, he brings down Seif Khan Yud Gimel, in the middle. He
In
says
Shintet or Shinchet?
Shunchas. Babir Hagra.
חולק על המגן אברהם. זה לא יציעו אלה שיתחילו את פלסטין ברשות.
See it? See the Mishnah Berurah there? He's on the Bir Hagra. So the Bir Hagra le'elsim reish lamach vav Seif Yud Beis Chelek Al Magen Avram Esfirleid le'tiru elek shehitzchel l'talto b'rishus. Not b'shoygig. Chem Mashal V'ran Ayin Sham. Last we don't pass like the Magen Avram.
Because the Mishnah Berurah brings it down as the first.
Right, but it says the Bir Hagra argues. And we go with the Bir Hagra.
I thought it was. I mean, we said that people have this thing that they drop it right away. Once you already have it in your hand, shoygig, then we spoke out that
You could-
it's
yeah. You can move wherever you want.
Yeah.
That's this idea that it's like it becomes like you have to.
If you picked it up a shaggy, you didn't know it's muktzah.
Then you can put it wherever you want.
No, the Biur says you can't. Only beheter. You picked it up beheter.
But Mishnah Berurah says that im shachach v'natla b'yado rashai l'tatila yoter.
You have to read further. It says it says the Biur el sevesan vav sivi beis chalak alam, and he stays with it. Okay.
I wonder but in other words, this Rabbi Kiva, or could we use this at all to try to find for this question? Is it totally the same machlokes?
Say again, sorry.
Could this be that how you confirm for the Rabbi Kiva?
Why?
In other words, it's totally in this machlokes whether you hold whether you can take once you pick it up or not.
Right, so Kiva holds.
In other words,
but here's beheter. Our case of picking up a head, everyone agrees that picking up a head is allowed in the Magen Avraham, it says even b'shagig. Our case is beheter, you picked it up. Everyone agrees that picking up a head is allowed to put it down wherever you want. That's what Kivega's kasha.
But heter means the Ismail, right?
Ismail, or our case.
But the Ismail, we see from the Mishnah Berurah and the Magen Avraham that the Ismail and shagig comes out that it's the same halacha.
No. No, Ismail is mutter and Shagig not. Ismail is mutter to put it down wherever you want, but Shagig not.
I thought he learns it from the Ismail.
No.
Okay.
Ismail is mutter.
So everybody holds that the Ismail is going to be mutter.
Yeah.
But the Magen was really light here. And he brings down the case of that. Okay. So if it's heter, then everybody would agree that you can take it wherever, right? Okay.
The next time involved, okay. The next time I was whole shayla about it. If it's a makom hefsid and it's tilted kalachayad, maybe heter. You have atzmois and it's tilted kalachayad. It could be it's mutter to do it. And someone has a lot of money in his pocket, and he realizes that he's carrying a lot of money in his pocket. So the Mishnah Berurah comes out over there that it could be mekel to drop it in a safe place. Mokum Hefsid. With the Mokum Hefsid, he'll be mekel like the Magen Avraham. We'll see when there's some involved, he brings it down, see if it pays. Okay, so that's a Kivega. Now, the Bechava says weiter, this is all by Shachach, he forgot it here. But the Menicham Aleh Midaitoi, if you put it there Midas, Al Dash Yisharu Shah Mechnisas HaShabbos, and as you put the rock there and had a mind that it should stay there Mechnisas HaShabbos, so now it becomes a basis. Now we spoke about Shachach. Here we're talking about you put it down and you had a mind to put it there on Shabbos, then already the halacha is different, then it becomes a basis, and he's not allowed to move the chavis. The chavis becomes becomes muktzah. Becomes a basis. Also, the hatois will deny. Then you're not allowed to turn it on its side or shake off the money from the car. Why? Because now it became a basis. Some people say that even if you had a mind to keep it there, they should be taken off on Shabbos, I guess, by a guy. The mutter lahatois ulenar b'Shabbos yelado bimenar on Shabbos with the asur ela b'menicham al dash yishur sham kala Shabbos. So here's a machlokes when something becomes a basis of davar asur. That means the first shita holds, as long as it's there, kol bein hashmoshes, it's meant to be there the whole time of bein hashmoshes, then it becomes a basis for the whole Shabbos. Now, even if afterwards the muktzah falls off, it's still muktzah. It became a basis bein hashmoshes. The second shita holds no. You have to have put it there at Erev Shabbos and had in mind to leave it there the whole Shabbos. But if you had in mind some point during Shabbos to take it off through a guy, then the halacha is that's not a basis, and therefore you're allowed to move the kli with the muktzah on it and shake it off. That's a machlekes and basis. We pass on like the first shita. Basically, it's a makom tzorich, but basically we pass on the first shita that as long as you had in mind to keep it there, the whole bein hashmoshes, then the halacha is it becomes a basis, and now that thing, the banan, the heter, is a muktzah l'chol Shabbos.
But why then? Why do we need the goy to Lenair? You can pick it up by.
No, they just take off the muktzah.
Oh.
Yeah, Lenair you could do.
Can you ask for it to take off the muktzah?
That's a question. My question about the case over here is, how's the guy allowed to take it off? How the guy allowed to take it off?
Can give him a hint. I don't need it there.
But by telling the guy, is it not a Mira Lakim?
It is a Milakim. You don't tell him. Tell him before Shabbos.
Before Shabbos.
Give him a hint before Shabbos. All the stones.
So that's the two cases of the Mechaber. One case is there was Shokach, and one case it was you put it there b'dafka. So the Ramah says that once it became a basis davar aser v'oz, afilu not ala iser misham, even if the iser was taken off, aser l'tal tal akli, the ma'acher shenase basis davar aser, the mitzvah haShabbos aser kol haShabbos kula. V'chein b'chol muktzah v'chein l'kavan simin shenyud im adam. Let's leave the rest of this. The rest of the Ramah for later. So if you put something on, you leave it whole bein hashmoshes. The halacha is it becomes aser for the whole Shabbos. We're going to go with the chumrah, with the first shita of if you had in mind to keep it there whole bein hashmoshes. Then the halacha is it becomes a basis the whole Shabbos, and that's why the famous case of the Leichter, the candles are going to go out. Right? What's the issue here? The issue is the fire. Right? The issue is the fire. The Leichter is a basis davar aser. Once the fire goes out, there's no more muktzah anymore. Everything else is only a basis to the fire. That's why it's muktzah. So you only have a mind that should be there till tonight. After tonight, there's no fire anymore.
Yeah.
So according to that, the Leichter, according to the second sheet, there's another case we have. The muktzah is not going to be there the whole Shabbos. So the Leichter becomes mutter. It's not a basis davar aser anymore. But if you hold that if it's there a whole bein hashmoshes, then it's aser. So therefore, even after the fire goes out, it stays aser to move it a whole Shabbos.
So, but Leichter is interesting. So then you have, when we talk about the Leichter on top of the table,
right?
You really have a basis on top of a basis.
Correct. A basis to a basis. That's correct. You have a basis to a basis.
And that
doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make a difference. A basis to a basis. The table is meant to hold up the Leichter, and the Leichter is meant to hold up the fire.
If you have a tray, like if you have the table, you have a tray, and then you have the candlesticks on
so it's something else. So that's something else. The tray.
And you have the tablecloth.
Yeah. So the truth is, the table is not a problem because you usually have davar heter on the table. So basis of davar iser davar heter. That's why people not going to have the chals on the table by lech benching, because or the whole bein hashmoshes. Because now the table becomes a basis of davar heter of davar iser, so I move the table.
Well, even without that, you have the tablecloth. Can the tablecloth be the davar heter?
No, the table is a basis to the table is also a basis to the leichter.
Tablecloth.
Tablecloth also. It's holding up the leichter.
Oh, I see.
But it's
we'll see about tablecloth soon.
Same time the heter and the muktzah.
Yeah,
Both.
it's both. So it's a basis davar heter davar aser.
Certainly the tray to the table to the
also. So if you have some people what they do is they take. I've heard of some people. They put on the tray the wife's diamond ring. For whole bein hashmoshes.
They put siddur on it.
So the question of siddur is worth more than the leichter. It has to be that the davar heter is more chashuv than the davar ha-aser. So if you have a leichter, you put a piece of, you put a siddur on the tray, then it's not so posh that you can move the tray afterwards. So challah, they say, is more chashuv than the leichter. That's what the person say. Because food that you have to eat.
Depends which way it's spelled.
No, that's what they said. They say challah, it's called davar chashuv because you have to eat. Food is more important than the lifetime. They have a choice.
So if you put a bottle of wine on there too, then you're...
So it's not, it's not a monetary thing.
Right. Chashivas. The people used to put the Chiddush Torah on the table. It's more chashuv than the lifetime. Anything you have on the table becomes a basis davar also davar heter, so you can move the table. So everything you have a lachta tray, and you put something on the lachta tray, and the lachta tray becomes a basis davar heter with davar iser, and then you're allowed to move the lachta tray. You can move it with the whole lachta. The only question over there is that the halacha of basis is that it's meant to serve the thing that's holding up. Right? When someone puts a ring on the lachta tray, everyone knows the lachta tray is not meant for the ring. The lachta tray is meant for the lachta. That's why it's called the lachta tray. It's not called the ring tray, it's called the lachta tray. So the question is, if you put a davar heter on something that is meant to be mishamish a davar aser, could you call it a basis davar itz of davar heter? That's a shayla. But there are people that do it. Therefore they keep the lachta on the dining room table, and then they'll move the whole lachta tray and put it away someplace else after the suda. Because they had ben hashmashas. Because once it passed ben hashmashas, you could take off the davar heter. You don't have to leave it here the whole Shabbos. Once you pass Beresh Moshes, you can take a davar heter, and now you can move the lachta tray. Because the lachta tray never became a basis of davar asur. The lachta itself, also you can move. But the lachta, the problem is, the lachta didn't hold anything, didn't hold heter, it only held isser. So the lachta is a basis of davar asur, and only to davar asur. The whole Beresh Moshes. So the lachta itself, you're not allowed to move. The lachta tray, which had on it a ring, so now you can move the lachta tray, but you can't touch the lachta.
I'm surprised you can't buy candlesticks with a hook on them.
Yeah, unless you put the ring on the lachta itself. And that's where it's going a little too far, because to say that lachta is meant to hold the ring is a big chiddush. It's called the basis. The pashas the lachta is called the basis davar asur. Even the lachta tray is some person want to say that's not called the ring doesn't help, because it's a basis davar asur. It's meant to hold the lachta. It's not meant to hold the ring. So
according to the second shita, this whole halacha doesn't apply.
Right. According to the second shita, it would come out that by a fire it goes out after Shabbos. You have no intentions to keep it there the whole Shabbos. Right. Yeah.
So you don't have this. This whole
correct. The only thing you may have is that the things that hold the wicks. Right. If you have candles, so the candles burn out, so there's no muktzah there anymore.
Well, you still have the wax there.
Oh, you mean
I don't think wax. I don't think it says. Yeah, they have the person speaking about the tea lights also. After they burn out, so the piece that held the wick is a davar muktzah. It has no use. So muktzah goes to that. Question what type of cheshivas that thing has. After you know
the wax is not a problem.
After the wax is a problem. Yeah, but we don't pass on the second shita, so it won't be heter for the lachta. Now, he asked before, why is the chavius called the basis of davar aser? The chayra, it should be a basis of davar heter v'isser. The chavius is holding wine in it, and it's holding the rock. So now it should be a basis of davar aser, davar heter. So if we look at the Machzas HaShekel, Machzas HaShekel says, let's find it. Yeah, if you look at the Machzas HaShekel, see if you in Vav. Yeah, if you look down a few lines, he says, "Three lines from the bottom. From the top."
And for us, in the other.
The bottom. Okay, fine.
Yes, the second column, 3 lines from the bottom. Havachavi is bosses le'evan. V'loyim min have bosses le'isser dahainu evan v'leheter dahainu ayayin. Kotam Seif Shabbos hatam. What's the reason for that? Even the chaviyos he gvoya min ayayin. The barrel is higher than the wine. V'evan munach ala chaviyos, and the stone is lying on the chaviyos. V'nasa hachaviyos bosses kiim le'evan lechud ayin sham. He says, since the barrel is higher than the wine, so the top part of the barrel
is not holding up the wine. Only the bottom part of the barrel. So he says, therefore, and the top part of the barrel is holding up the heaven, the stone.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's called the basis of davar aser and not iser v'heter. That's what it says.
It said that the whole chavis becomes one.
Right, the whole chavis becomes the basis of davar aser. The Rabbi Halacha says similar. If you look in the Rabbi Halacha, the Master V'menicham. You see it, the Master V'menicham?
Yeah.
It says, da, these are b'rishonim, chen eskimu hara achronim, b'afilu yesh, b'toch hachavis yayin, b'leimrin denasa hachavis basis le'isr v'leheter, because of a tam, mishum the pi hachavis milmayla, le'nasa basis ki'im lo eben shamunach aleha. Same idea. Same idea. The pi hachavis, top of the chavis, is only a basis, the davar ha-asr, and not the davar ha-heter.
Unless the
Yeah, the top.
The lid.
Yeah, the PV is the lid, not the lid.
The lid
No,
of the
the-
barrel, because that's not
I
serving.
don't think the lid on the barrel has
Because if you take
cooked.
the lid off, then it's not serving the wine.
Right.
The walls are serving
No,
the
so
wine.
I don't. P means the opening, not the lid. The lid is called a kisui. The case over here, Pasha says there is no lid. They put a big stone right on top of the whole chavis.
Oh, that's the case. I
Yeah.
thought we have a wine with a barrel, and then you have a stone on top.
No. So it could be the case here.
It says that the lid, the top part, doesn't serve the wine.
No, but then it won't be a question of because okay, the lid will be a basis davar aser, and the chavis will be a basis to the lid.
Well, in that case, you could claim that the evidence is there for a reason, because it keeps it closed so that no animal can come and go in and go into the wine. So,
Right,
so it has a shimush. So
But there's the opposite. The evidence be mishamish the kisser, not the kisser the evan. We always need that the davar heter is be mishamish the davar aser, not the opposite. So that's a cloud we have to have. Okay, look at the Mishbur over here in Seif Cotton Yud Ches. Right, the Mechaber said, in the case where you put it there and you had in mind it should be there the whole Bein Hashmashos. What does that mean? This is a very important question. Comes up all the time. You put it there, Erev Shabbos, al das, to leave it there Bein Hashmashos. What does that mean? Do I have to have positive das that I'm leaving it there the whole Bein Hashmashos? How about if I put something there Friday afternoon? I didn't think about it. Stam das. I didn't think about what I'm going to do with it Bein Hashmashos. What's the halacha? So we look at the Mishmur Seif Kan Yud Ches. Adash Yisharu. Avol Minicha Bekavona Bechayil. If you put it Bekavona Bechayil, but Lahaya Daitai Beferish Sheyisharu Sham B'Shabbos V'Achakach Shacham Sham Mikri Shechayach. You put it there during the week. I didn't have positive das to leave it there a whole Shabbos. That's called Shechayach. So you take something, you put it down in a drawer on a Tuesday, and you didn't have positive das to leave it there the whole Shabbos. So the come Shabbos, it's called Shechayach. You forgot it there. That's the cloud.
Why would you think otherwise? I mean, that's obvious. Right? I mean,
No, because it could be you put something down there and you leave it there for as long as you want. So you meant it should be there the whole time. And we'll see soon. This is only something where it's not in its place where it's meant to be. That is, if you have, they give an example, you have a drill, let's say, and it's meant to be in a certain place in a drawer, and you put it there on Tuesday, you can't say, oh, now the drawer doesn't become muktzah to it, because, bosses to it, because you don't have a mind to keep it there for Shabbos. Of course you do. That's its place. It's meant to be there. It's meant to be there. Right? You have an example, the Magen Avraham. Look at the Magen Avraham, the end of the Magen Avraham. We'll get to the beginning soon. The end of the Magen Avraham speaks about if you put something there, b'derech hakroi, which we'll see what that means. Haphazardly, you put something down, you're not thinking about where you're putting it. That's a different halacha. If you look at the end of the Magen Avraham, Kosav HaTosfos, all the way at the end of the Magen Avraham, like 3 lines from the end. Daf Mem Hey.
Yeah.
Now the Kiddush of Tanagolim, Kiddush also of Tanagolim, you have a chicken coop, or a box, where the Tanagolim jump around in it. Im Yesham Beitz HaSafroyach, you have in there an egg from the Tanagol, also the Taltula, you're now allowed to be metal to the box. The Ein Zeh K'Shechayach, El Kimaniach. Now you didn't put the egg there the chicken laid an egg, and now it's in the box. So you didn't have positive das to leave it there over Shabbos. You didn't even know about it. You didn't even know it was there before Shabbos. So how could you say you had positive das to leave it there over Shabbos? Still, ein zeh shecheach, ela k'maniach. Everything like that. And the reason is because that's its place. It's meant to be there. Anything that's in its place that it's meant to be there is called a basas, a davar, a asif, even though you didn't have positive das to leave it there over Shabbos. So if you have a drawer in your kitchen where you keep pens and you keep all types of tape and all types of muktzah things, you can't say, I put it there on Tuesday, so I was shecheach. No, that's its place, that's where it's meant to be, so the drawer becomes a basas, a davar, a asif. We're talking about something that you put down elsewhere. You took your car keys that are muktzah, you put it down on a small table that you have, right? During the week. It's not its place. It's meant to be hanging on the rack, whatever it is. And then you put it down on Thursday, and you forgot it there for Shabbos. You didn't have positive das to leave it there for Shabbos. That's called shecheach. That's called shecheach. So the Mishnah Berurah says over here, you
all
put
of those cases, if you have paper inside, would be all right.
Paper's a question. Paper's muktzah.
That example, I don't know, something else. But no, something that's davar heter.
So it depends. So it depends. It depends if it's more davar issa and davar heter, then it's a basas or davar issa, we call it. The klal of basas or davar heter and davar issa means the davar heter is more chashiv. But not pshat I have 1,000 muktzah items on one heter item, now it's a basas of both of them, I'm allowed to move it. You don't say that.
So for example, you've got benches in there. Like in the same drawer, you've got benches and you've got pens.
So it depends what's more chashiv. Yeah. And that's more chashiv. Because benches are more chashiv.
X is a drawer, you're in big trouble.
No, you're in big trouble, yes. What you say? Oh, you say that your iPhone is more important than a bench?
No, but if someone puts the phone in the drawer, no, phone's a good example. Someone puts a phone in the drawer is not the place where the phone's meant to be. You put it there sometimes. It's meant to be in the drawer, that's its place.
No.
I don't know if you call it its place. The phone is meant to be in your pocket, it's on you.
So what you going to do? Pull out the drawer and take out the phone?
On Shabbos?
What's that we're talking about, right?
No, so if you have davar heter in there also, you want to get davar heter. Yeah, so what's the halacha? You want to open the drawer, close it, open and close it. Well, you have to, the first time, open it, take the drawer out, and tilt the phone out. So the truth is, to take the drawer out and put it back in, it could be a problem of boiling and tzayser on Shabbos. So you're better off, if you have no choice, you have no other way of doing it, then it's mutter. So take out the drawer, probably worse than moving, opening and closing the drawer.
You can open it once, take out all the benches, and that's all.
I don't think we're going to do that, leave it open.
Well, you have to take the benches out and put them somewhere else.
No, that we saw last week with the Paris. You're not going to take the Paris out. Right? You had last week, if you have the basket with the Paris and the Evans, right? You're not going to take, that's why you can't get the stone out. You're allowed to move around the basket with the Paris inside. You don't say take the Paris out. Same thing here. So it says over here like this. The Mishnah Berurah says over here that if you put it b'kavana b'chayil v'lohay daita b'fresh yishu l'shav Shabbos b'achak shacham sham mikri shechech kisvei maharat trumas hadesha v'das habeis Yosef dafilu nicham be'erev Shabbos kol sh'lohay daita b'fresh yishu sham b'chnisat Shabbos v'bein hashmoshes shakcha yifgadet the salag take it off gam zeh hu b'chlal shakach. That's also considered shakach. So you have a chlokes beis Yosef and the Trumas Hadeshin. The Trumas Hadeshin holds that if you put something down Erev Shabbos, even though you didn't have positive das and leave it there the whole Shabbos, stoma is that you can leave it there the whole Shabbos. And therefore it becomes a basas of davar asur. If I put it down on Thursday or Wednesday, any day before Friday, the Trumas Hadeshin is maskim, that's stam, it's considered shakach.
Yeah.
But on Friday, you put something down on Friday, even though you have no das, it's already called the basas.
Yeah.
The Seif argues. The Seif says even though you put it down on Friday, it's still considered shakach.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a mind to leave it.
Thursday is
a positive das. But the Trumas Hadeshin holds that putting something down Friday is like positive das.
Sure.
You put it there, you meant to leave it there for a day.
It's like buying a shosher or something. It's like considering, like we put down.
Yeah, like a niach.
I mean, is the true tradition not to get pedantic here, but is the true tradition talking about when you put something down, you're in the middle of doing hachanos for Shabbos, or is it like it's on Friday morning when you're doing whatever you're doing?
No, it makes difference. Anytime Friday. Anytime Friday.
What if it's a combination? You put something down b'kavanah, but you forgot where you put it.
When you forgot where you put it?
You're looking in different places.
No, so if you're trying to find it, for sure you don't mind to keep it to Ben Hashmoshes. You're trying to find it, take it away.
You specifically put it in a place, but you forgot which place.
I know, but you don't want it to be the Ben Hashmoshes. You're trying to find it and put it away, right?
Right.
So then you have positive that's to take it away.
Yeah.
If someone puts something down, someone takes a davar muktzah, right, a phone, and he puts it down on the dining room table, right? Everyone agrees.
When?
Friday afternoon, 10 minutes before Shabbos, right? Even the Shumas Adesha will be masking that it doesn't become a boss at the table, because you have positive das to take your phone away before Shabbos.
Right.
When you're putting it down, you have the opposite. You have positive das, and you want to make sure before Shabbos take it away. You forget before Shabbos to put the phone away,
Right. So
but you have positive das.
So what's the law? How would you pass in there? So what would you
No,
do?
everyone agrees it's not a bosses. The table's not a bosses to the phone.
Even the Shumas Hadesha?
Even Shumas Adesha. Shumas Adesha is you put it down.
But the ultimate,
stam.
yeah.
You did have positive das. Yeah, you put it down Friday, stam. You didn't have any das. What's going to happen Ben Hashmoshes? But if you have positive das to take it away Ben Hashmoshes, and then you forgot to take it away, everyone agrees that's called shachayach. So if you put your phone down on a side table, let's say, and it doesn't bother you if it's there for Shabbos, right? And you put it down on double heter, then you don't say you have positive das to take it away.
So he's not converting every sheikhayach into, because it's Friday, into
No, he's saying stam.
He's saying a stam.
Only stam. We have three levels.
Yeah.
We have positive das to leave it there for Shabbos. We have positive das to take it away before Shabbos. And then we have stam das. The machlekes to Beis Yosef and the Shumas Hadesha is the middle case of stam das. I put something down. I didn't have any intentions of what I'm doing if the Ben Hashmoshes of Shabbos. Beis Yosef holds, even if you put it down Friday, you're okay. It's called shachayach. The Shumas Hadesha says it depends if it's Thursday or Friday. Friday, stam das is to leave it there for Shabbos, and during the week, Thursday, it's called shachayach. So this is very good. People put their car keys or whatever, they come home Friday afternoon, they put stuff on the dining room table, and they have positive das to take it away. No one wants to leave it there over Shabbos, but you forgot to take it away. Anytime you put something on Friday, you have a mind to take it away before Shabbos, the halacha is, it's called
Like the Beis Yosef?
the reason about shit is not machrid, the Meshavur.
So that's just, that was up at the table, right?
It's a gabbai table. The phone is muktzah. Yeah, you're allowed to shake it off. A famous example is.
So what do we do? I mean, the Mishnah is on both.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like
It's just not machrid. Usually you'll be down.
a common case. It happens every.
Yeah. It's not so common.
Really?
That you forget something. Yeah, the truth is, if you put it on a side place. Yeah.
Every Friday,
Yeah.
your wife says you're going to get rid of that. You're going to take that. You're
No.
going to take that away, right? So you say yes. Of course, I'm going to take it
No,
away.
then everyone agrees it's not a bosses. Then everyone agrees it's not a bosses. If your wife says take it before Shabbos, if you have a das, take it away before Shabbos.
But that's
No, everyone agrees it's not a bosses in that case. But
stam.
it's only by stam das. Stam das. You put something down Friday, and you have stam. You didn't think about what's going to happen over Shabbos. So it has to be. It's in a certain place where you don't care if it's there for Shabbos. That's called stam das.
But the car keys, so because we said maybe it was.
Yeah, you put the car keys.
We said car keys. Of course, you want to take them away.
If it's on the dining room table.
Where?
If it's on the dining room table.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you put your car keys, you have a little table, you walk into the house, and car keys lie there a lot of times over Shabbos. And you put it down Friday with stam das. So according to the Mishnah, that table becomes muktzah. And according to the Yosef,
So
stam
the dining
das.
room table then with the you would
Yeah,
say
dining
that
table
that,
does not become a bosses. Because dining room table, everyone has positive das to take it away before Shabbos. If you know it's good for you.
And you have other.
Right.
Yeah. So you have positive das, take it away before Shabbos. That's positive das.
Unless it's the wife's cookies. Then it's
A famous example is when you have a chassid, let's say Thursday night, and you're wearing a Shabbos suit. and you put left money in your pocket, let's say, right? So you have positive das, so take it away before Shabbos. When you put the money in your pocket, even though you're not thinking now what's going to happen in the Shmoshes, but you know you need the suit for Shabbos, so you have positive das, so you can take it out before Shabbos. You forgot it there. So then it doesn't become a basis. The suit doesn't become a basis.
You just shake out the suit?
Yeah, shake it out. It's not a basis. But if you put something in your weekday pants, and you're going to leave it there, right, so that could be stam das. You can take it before Shabbos, not take it before Shabbos, that could be stam das.
Rabbi, is a credit card treated the same as money?
Credit card is muktzah. Unless I use it to make lines in your Shulchan Aruch. Okay, so that's the halacha of stam das. Now,
He knows us too well.
okay, now is a very important Magen Avraham here. A little behind schedule, okay? There's a very important Magen Avraham, which this happens a lot also. They put something down, but when you put it down, you didn't have das for that place. It's called, they put it down ba'akroi, in English means haphazardly. You dropped it somewhere, you didn't have a care if it's in that place. So does that make something a basis or not? Says the Magen Avraham. Adash Yisharu, beforehand. Sifkan Hey, Menar Akar, Vim Oisa Kain Litzerich Amois, Shlayiganavu Aser. Right? If you have the money, we spoke about this, if you have the money on the car, on the pillow, now you don't need a pillow, you just don't want the money to get stolen, so you want to shake the money off the pillow, so now that shouldn't get stolen. You can't do that. Even though it's tilted min atzad, the money didn't become a basis, the pillow did not become a basis to the money. Yeah. Why? Because it was shecheach. Still, you're not allowed to move the pillow before the money. That is called tilted min atzad, the tzarech davar asur. Tilted min atzad, the tzarech davar asur is asur. It's only tilted min atzad, tzarech davar mutter. You need the pillow, you're allowed to shake off the money. But if you're doing it because of the money, you're not allowed to do that. There's no heter. That would be the same thing. If someone left money somewhere and you want to move it, tilt them on that side for the money, you can't do that. It's awesome. But Ayin Siman.
You do tilt all the gufay.
Yeah, but Ayin Siman, Shin Yud Aleph, Siv Ches, and what he means over there is that there he says, tiltal begufay is mutter. That means if you move it with your guf, it's not called tiltal b'chlal, and you're allowed to kick it. Kicking is a shayla we saw, right, because the Chaz Nishma held that it's osir. But with gufa, you want to move it with the elbow or other parts of your body, is mutter. So here, there are some achronim. Sharatzian argues they want to say that near shaking something off is also not called a tiltal at all.
Oh, we already had that before.
Near?
Near.
We never had near, but we had tiltal min atzad. Everyone who tiltal min atzad is called tiltal. You pick something up and there's muktzah on it, that's called tiltal. Tiltal min atzad, but it's called tiltal. How about if I'm shaking it off? Is that called tiltal? So there, maybe it's not called tiltal. From the Magen Avraham, is mashma, it's called tiltal, because he holds that we're doing a tzarech davar also it's also. Look in the Sharatzian, Sif Kartin Yud Zayin. And he's going in the Magen Avraham that if you do it, if you metaltal, if you menay the davar also because of the davar also, you're not allowed to do that. Ve'en stiru lezem lechamon sem shen yur shivches kosher Magen Avraham shem abach v'siv kon yinav iyike hefset b'muktzah yidei nir. You're allowed to do it. Ein tzarech l'na'al metaltal lehetir b'muktzah v'yachav v'zeh garim v'stam nir de'alma. So I'm not going to go through the whole case over there. Kol shkon hachi yesh l'chalak d'sham ikar tiltal b'shvil davar heter. V'yed ikar tiltal davar heter ma'she'en kim b'zeh. The davar why the kaim alam ba'alma b'tiltal min atzad ein mutter kim l'tzarech davar heter v'b'shvil davar asa. V'afa pikein, it says. This is the way you have to see it. V'afa pikein Din zeh leberida kulahai. This halacha that to be nair it for the davar aser is aser. He says it's not so clear. Why? The efsher benir kil tvei. Maybe shaking it is better, is more kal than tiltum min atzad. When a Beit Yeruchim shehevi Magen Avram ein raya, the hulai hiskish sham near. The Beit Yeruchim that says that it's aser, the tzarech davar aser, he doesn't mention near. He could be talking about tiltum min atzad. Right? The Magen Avram brings down the Beit Yeruchim. When nara karam oitzaken the tzarech hamois, so yigrevu aser. He says it for Beit Yeruchim. So he says from the Beit Yeruchim it doesn't say mefurish that we're talking about near. It could be talking about tiltum min atzad. But after the Meiri in tiltul hakar mamish im amois. Ach maloshen agamara the Amar Sham lo yishanu el tzarech gufa mashma kamagen Avram to ze eine mikol tzarech gufa achar kach matas mesel besmeir shegam hu metmir lamagen Avram kedreinu the Beit Yeruchim lemuchach din ze. So the Sharitzim brings down that near muktzah, shaking it, lav dafka is called tiltum. He hasn't circled a heter for near. He said the Magen Avram is machmer even near, but you don't have a raya from the Beit Yeruchim. So he says the lashon loy berira is not so clear that the Magen Avram is right and near is awesome. So you want to know if you have money lying on a pillow, lying someplace, and there's a hefsher merubah, and you want to shake it off, not to move it. You can't pick up the thing with the money and move it. That's for sure. That's tiltum min atzad. It's definitely also the tzarech davar aser. You want to shake it off. There maybe you may have a heter. Sharitzim brings down a heter for that. Kil tvei, it's more kal. It's not 100% clear that it's aser.
No, but since you shake it off with the car, you're okay. You can. There's no problem.
Shake it off from the car only if you need the car.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The car itself.
I'm saying if you don't need the car, you're doing it because you don't want to lose the money.
Right.
There, it's awesome.
Right.
The Mishabru says that it could be a mitzat lahakol in such a case.
And shaking it off was the side.
No, the elbow you could. You want to move it with the elbow, you can do that. That's not a problem. That's tiltum b'gufay.
Right.
Okay. Should we start the next Magen Avram, or should we wait for next week?
You have 2 minutes.
I think we should wait till next year.
To next year? Okay. We're not going to finish it. I think it's a good 10-15 minutes to do this Magen Avram. But definitely today, I would see the whole Magen Avram inside.
Which one? This
Vav. Vav and Ches, both of them.
Vav
and Ches, they're both very important Magen Avram. So see the whole thing inside. You have Rosh Hashanah to do it. Long Yitzhus. What's the next week? Next week is some Gedalia.
Yeah, some Gedalia.
You can start regular time. It's a long davening.
Yeah, no.
I know, but it's not you.
maybe by you.
It's a longer davening for sure.
Last year.
Well, Slichos in the morning.
Slichos in the morning, and then there's Kriyas Torah, and there's Avinu Malkeinu, and there's.
I know, but they start earlier. They start earlier.
So you want to start at 9?
Wait a minute. Does the Rav's minion finish at 9?
I'm not sure. I don't have a secret.
Tell us. You tell us.
I could be at 9. If everyone wants to be at 9, I could be at 9. It's not a problem.
No, it's
good for us. We started 7.
9? I'm fine with 9. I could have a secret.